What's going on, family? What's going on, family? Hold on 1 second. Yep, what's going on? It's another day. You know, we trying to make a way. Thank God for every day, for this peace. He keep waking me up. You know what I'm saying? Even through, regardless of the tactics, regardless of the things that we go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I'm thankful that I have my peace. I'm thankful I'm still able to make it back and forth to work. I truly am thankful. God truly makes a way. You know what I'm saying? So the subject today that I wanted to express is breaking generational curses. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes trauma, traits, characteristics go into the DNA, to the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? For the person's experiences and their lifetime could be due to certain traits, characteristics embedded in their DNA. You know what I'm saying? A lot of reason why families are not successful, or a household is not successful, especially a black household with the black father and the black mother having a household with the children and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of successful black people out here today that has, you know what I'm saying, a black father and a black mother, and they're successful. You know what I'm saying? It's not how the media portrays how all black people are. You got a lot of black successful people, and you know what I'm saying. Their thing, once they successful, they trying to stay out the way from what the media is trying to, you know what I'm saying? Usually, like black people like that, they want to stay around other successful people, around other races. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to play the media race game of how the black person looks like in the media, flashy, have some sense of coming from the streets. You know what I'm saying? A toughness. You know what I mean? Things like that. You know, a lot of women, you know, things like that. Stuff that, you know, normal Negroes in the hood, you know what I'm saying, validate. Normal Negroes in the street, you know what I'm saying, would accept. You get what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people accept just, a lot of black people accept just, you know what I'm saying, as long as I make a bunch of kids that have a whole bunch of black baby mamas, a whole different race of baby mamas, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's just the mindset of people. You know what I mean? It's not actually trying to better their bloodline, better, you know what I'm saying, what's embedded in their DNA. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I've been, you know, adopted. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I don't really know too much about my biological family. All I know is that basically they had a bunch of kids and they couldn't take care of them, and they never married. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that makes me out of what they call that, wedlock. You know, so they couldn't take care of me. So I've been in foster care since from what, age 3 to age 5, and then I've been with my adopted family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful for my adopted family. You know what I'm saying? It was just my adopted mom. I didn't have no adopted dad or no male figure in the household. Maybe only for a temporary second. My mom did get married. We had like me and my brother, adopted brother. We had a stepdad just for probably like a year or two, but that was it. You know, they had their issues and problems, got a divorce, and that was it. And from now on, it just been my adopted mom putting things together. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have an extravagant lifestyle or anything like that. We wasn't really fed with a silver spoon, but she made it happen. She made it work, and she tried her best to keep us away from ratchetness and things like that. But me and my brother, we we found a way to still involve ourselves in ratchetness. You know what I'm saying? And for the rest of my family, I'm thankful for the rest of my adopted family. But I know like they always been there. Like every time that because it's always been a cycle. Every time that I work for a little bit, you know what I'm saying, I could always depend on my family and be there. But it always, you know what I'm saying, I always would like go back to like just getting on drugs and just not having the mindset of hustling on my or being financially stable or just keeping the financial stability. So yeah, that was like a weakness in a way. You know what I'm saying? So do with this gang stalking that I made it out of Georgia, you know what I mean? Uh, it gave me, you know, something that the enemy tried to use for your demise turned to something that God used, you know what I'm saying, for you to thrive. You know what I mean? Because now I can see like, okay, I can work, I can maintain financial stability and things like that and manage. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that I'm not worried about Georgia at all. I'm thankful for where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And God is keeping me away from certain toxic, you know what I'm saying, people. Even though it don't matter where you go, it's still going to be toxicity. You know what I'm saying? It's going to follow you everywhere you go. So you still got to have a mindset, but it's good to be, you know what I'm saying, at a place of peace. It's good to be at a place of peace. You know what I'm saying? So what the program wanted me to be isolated to the point where I'm only around people that's going to bring the lower side of me out. You know what I'm saying? It was never meant for me to meet another empath. It was never meant for me to have a empath in my life as a helper. That was never placed in the plan at all. You know what I'm saying? But God always makes a way. I was never positioned to be with my wife. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's just, you know, something that's like a one in a million, you know, things that just it happens, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like if you have the mindset to realize that you have that, you know what I'm saying, that empath in your life, then you make the right choices and things like that. You know, you don't fumble that bag. And I'm thankful that I didn't fumble that bag. Cause if I was thinking with another mindset, you know what I'm saying, things would have ended south. You know what I'm saying? And it's so easy for people to think with the wrong mindset. You know what I'm saying? When they have somebody like that in their life and they think they just go out here and do things and try to prove some or validation or you know what I'm saying? Me, I'm good with my monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm good where I'm at with my place of peace. You know what I'm saying? And if God opens the door for me to have children, then I can continue to help my bloodline to break that generational curse. Keep my relationship with God and keep a household where there's a black male and a black female, you know, a black mother and a black father, you know what I'm saying? And try to install as much wisdom. Even though I might not have all the materialistic gains and stuff like that, still find, you know what I'm saying, comfort, you know what I mean, in that household and instilling wisdom and raising them to the best ability that I can raise them. The program was never designed for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? The system don't want that to happen. You feel me? It wants to bring the low side out of you. Wants you to still think that you still got this, you know what I mean, some type of player in you or whatever, and you know what I mean? People try to persuade your belief, change your thought pattern to be like, oh, you can, you know what I mean? It's good for you to practice polygamy. You know, polygamy is in the Bible, you know, um, Abraham, he had multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? The kings and the Bible, they had multiple wives and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The reason why Abraham had multiple wives because he couldn't have children with his wife Sarah, and Sarah made an agreement so that they can continue their bloodline, so that they can have an heir for their bloodline. You know what I'm saying? That's why she agreed to the polygamy. You know what I'm saying? And for the kings, they were kings. You know what I'm saying? They were actual kings. You know what I mean? I know black people like to call, hey, what up, king? What up, king? What up, God? They like to, spit that type of knowledge and try to open up, that it's all right for polygamy or to have multiple sister wives and stuff like that. Like, I'm not knocking people. If that's the path they want to go through, that's cool. But I'd rather have a soul tie with one solid person. You know what I'm saying? Create that foundation with one solid person. You know what I mean? Go to the Adam and Eve route. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't believe in the multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? They got different religions that believe in that, like Hebrew Israelites, Muslims. You know what I'm saying? Certain different beliefs where they believe that, you know what I'm saying, it's cool to have sister wives and for the male to be dominant like that, and they have the dominant seed and stuff like that. But in this day and age, in this time, and where I'm at and with my bloodline, for me to go that route of polygamy wouldn't be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm trying to break generational curses. You know what I mean? Actually finally able to be in a place where I have financial stability, where I'm keeping things afloat, and I'm keeping toxicity and ratchetness out of my life. You know what I'm saying? And keeping myself stable, staying away from drugs, staying away from people that's like a crab in a bucket that's trying to keep you down. You know what I'm saying? Staying away from things like that. And the program, it wasn't designed for you to do it. It happened, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't designed. They didn't see that you had this light inside of you, you know what I'm saying? That you was actually an empath, you know what I'm saying? You just been persuaded, you just been influenced, you know what I'm saying? And went down the bumpy road. But God makes those bumpy roads straight. You know what I'm saying? He opened your eyes to things that what really matter. You know what I'm saying? Is you know what I'm saying? Breaking generational curses, keeping a relationship with God, keeping your peace. You know what I'm saying? Building some financial stability. Things like that. It's not always about money. Life is not always about money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this so I can just have, look at what I accomplished. No, I'm doing this to stay afloat. I'm making this money to stay afloat so my wife can be secure. So if God does bless us with a family, they can be secure. I can be secure. As the man, I have to be the provider and the protector. So I'm thankful for that. The program was never intended for that to happen. And for the women in my life, you know what I'm saying, they already had kids, they already had some type of toxicity going on. You know what I'm saying? It was never meant for me to find someone as valuable as my wife that had no children. You know what I'm saying? That had no marriages. You know what I'm saying? That's a very high value type woman, because in today's society, a lot of women nowadays already have children, already been married, already had divorces. So they have all these different soul ties. You know what I'm saying? And today, a lot of the men are becoming demasculated. So the women are looking for the masculine men. So a lot of women will get together and become sister wives from that charismatic masculine man. You know what I'm saying? So this is the society that we live in, and a lot of the men, you know what I mean, they'll start messing with other men. This is the society that we live in today. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful that God put me out of that situation and put me in a place like this, even though I have to face daily harassment from people that's infuriated that things didn't go as they planned. It backfired. Now look at me. I'm still prospering. And it's not a thing about me bragging, but it's a thing like people can do it out there too. As long as you got breath in your body, you got opportunity to repent and make things right, then hey, you got to do what you got to do. People ain't gonna do it for you. You gotta do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful. I'm so thankful where I'm at. 34 years old, still making this thing happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful. And I'm gonna keep pushing, I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do. And God opened the door. I'm gonna steal my wisdom, steal my skill sets to be the best version of myself and to break this generational curse. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's not repeating those same patterns that's in your bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And if you are a black sheep in your family, don't become the sacrificial lamb. You know what I'm saying? Just become the better version of yourself, you know? And keep a relationship with God and try to break the generational curses. You know what I'm saying? Because the program is meant for you to be in a cycle and a loop and to pull out the lowly side of you. It was never intended to pull out a better, positive version of yourself. That was never intended. So with that being said, I got to go back to work, family. Peace.